The best metering mode for landscape photography is center weighted average. I use center weighted average for every single shot in all conditions. I never change it. My camera always stays on center weighted average. The reason why it's so good is it just puts a circle in the center of your camera sensor and it meters the light that comes into that circle. The good part about this is that it's never going to change on you, meaning the camera's never going to guess. Any of your settings for landscape photography that the camera is guessing what you want to do are going to be wrong half the time or more, and then you're going to fail to get shots. So the other two main metering modes that people like to use are spot metering, which is very similar to center weighted average, but you just move the circle or spot that's being metered from around the frame. Why this isn't good for landscape photography is because you have to set it every single time, and if the light changes or the sun changes, it's going to completely change the exposure that you're going to have to shoot for that shot. The last one is matrix metering or evaluative metering. This one completely guesses where you want to meter in the scene, and it's going to really screw you up because the camera's going to be wrong most of the time. So whenever you're in dynamic conditions, such as landscape photography, all the time, then you're going to want to choose exactly what the camera should do with your hands, and it should never be guessing. By using center weighted average, it's always going to meter the weighted average that you set in the center of the sensor. And from there, you can change your exposure up and down because it's not jumping around and moving. Since you have this set point to work from, you're always going to have the correct exposure. You guys can check out my exposed to the right video. You can just put in YouTube ETTR, Dave Morrow, and it'll show you all about how to set the correct exposure. So the other downsides of spot and matrix is that when you're using these, they're going to act differently every single time because the camera algorithm is going to act differently depending on the conditions. And since you don't know exactly how that algorithm's working, sometimes it might work for you, but other times it's not going to work for you. And if you can't repeat your camera technique process every single time for every single condition, you're just not going to come up with good photos because you're going to fail half the time and you're going to get discouraged. And when you get discouraged, you're going to wonder why you're not getting good shots. So you'll stop improving and you'll quit. And this is why most people don't get better at photography, is because the things that they work on, they let the camera or a computer program guess half the time, so they don't actually understand their process. And if you don't understand your process, you can't have trust in yourself. And if you don't have trust in yourself, you can't get better and better because you won't have confidence. And without confidence, you'll quit. So center weighted average, you guys can check out all of my camera technique videos on my regular YouTube page that are long form. I show lots of adventures, and I have free PDFs you can download that show my exact step-by-step camera technique with all these settings. Thanks for watching. See you next time.